Geez, it's hard to get stuff done.
That's all right. Okay, and let me move this one out of the way here. That doesn't need to be sitting over here. Okay. And I'm going to
It's
start off by saying good evening to everybody. This is LA Web Professionals January 2024 meeting, the first meeting of the year. We are very happy to have everybody here. We're excited. My name is Anissa Barton Thompson. I'm a social media specialist and web developer. I'm joined by my partner and organizer extraordinaire, Daniel Kramer. Daniel, say hi.
Hi, everyone.
And we've got a couple of regulars in the house. I see Brad and Doug. And let me see, we've got Hernandez is here, Sherman, Sandra, and Brandon is also in the house. Brandon Leibowitz is going to be kicking off our main presentation today. So glad to have him with us, and we'll get an intro for him in just a moment. I'm going to start off our session tonight by giving a quick little demo on using Adobe Express. And I'm going to do something fun because I haven't done this in a while. And I wanted to combine some of the pretty cool features that are available in the newest version, the newest iteration of Adobe Express. I'm going to create a quick reel that's going to promote tonight's event just for the fun of it. So I'm going to create this from scratch. Hopefully my computer is not going to take a really long time to do stuff. Hopefully this should work okay. And let's see. Oh, and I want to do something real quick. Let me get another, I'm going to get a recording going here on this part. Uh, should be hearing recording in progress. There we go. So for this demo, what I want to do is upload a video, just a quick couple of seconds that I recorded a little bit earlier, and then combine it with some fun graphics. But in that, I'm going to actually be using Adobe Express's really cool background removal feature to take the background, not out of pictures, but out of my actual video that I recorded a little bit earlier. So I've actually already uploaded the video that I want to use. Hopefully my computer is going to let me get to it pretty quickly. Let's see. There's my stuff. And in my stuff, I've got some files that I've already uploaded. Let's see. Oh, nope, I don't see the main collection, but I'm going to go ahead and upload from my device. And you guys can see as I'm clicking through, it already comes with a vast selection of photos, videos, and audio that are built into the Express account. But you, of course, can upload your own content as well. So I'm going to upload from my device. I've got a little quick video intro that I pulled in. And you can literally see I'm wearing the same thing I have on. I've done it in the comfort of my own home, despite my little froggy voice. I wanted to go ahead and include this. And so what I want to, the idea of what I want to create here is to take this video and take out my room background is kind of cool. It's not too bad, but I don't really want to see my shelf and my blinds and things in the background. And I want to put some text behind me that actually can help promote and provide some information for the video content. So what I'm going to do is you'll see here I've got the video is on the timeline at the bottom of the screen. And I can continue to add elements, but I'm going to come back to that in just a second. So what I'm going to here is in order to get this video, to get something between the layers, so to speak, to get something behind my head, but in front of the background, I'm going to need to actually duplicate this video. So I'm going to click on Control D or right click on the context menu and go to duplicate. And you're going to see a second video has popped up, and it's actually showing over here on the right-hand side. All of the objects that I add to my canvas are literally going to be listed on the right, on that right side panel there. So I'm going to take my newly duplicated video and just make sure that it aligns in the same position right above the original video. And you'll see down below on the timeline, it doesn't actually duplicate it. What the timeline is showing is everything that's on the canvas at the same time. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody was clear there. And I'm going to take that top layer video. And of course, that's the number one thing they put right there on the screen is remove background. So I'm going to let it take a second to do that. And while it's removing, once it is removed, I'm going to jump down here to the text option on the left-hand side in the text tools. And I'm also going to go ahead and add some text while it's removing the background. And since I want to honor our cool presentation for tonight, that is Brandon doing an SEO and AI demonstration, I'm going to go ahead and type that in. Now it's kind of dark because it defaults to black as the text color, but I'm going to size that up. And I'm going to change the color of my text to white so it really stands out. I need a really fun, funky display for this. So I think I'm going to put a little bit of an arch to it. Pull this down where I can see it. Now, I don't really want to wear it like a crown. That would be kind of weird. How about we do just the regular display, but I'm going to change the font. And I know my computer's going a little bit slower because I have quite a few things in the background, but I
You could
want
try
a
arching it
nice,
over a wider diameter with a elongated or extended text.
we can, but I'm just gonna keep it pretty simple for the time being, but I think we should experiment with it, and I want to see what you create too, because I'm gonna give everybody an opportunity to go ahead and play with that. So I'm gonna position it right about there where you can still see my head is blocked a little bit from the text. Now, if I want to actually might do this. Make this a little bigger. And let's make it dynamic so it can kind of spread out. Something like that. Okay, I think I can live with that. And over here on the side, you can see I now have the 3 layers. So I have my text, I have my foreground video, which has the background removed, and I'm gonna just have them switch places. So now that I've switched places, I can still see Anissa here, and we've got some great SEO and AI tips for you. And here's a little bit of a problem here is I noticed that the sound is actually delayed because it's coming from 2 places. So I'm going to take my bottom layer video, which still has the full background on it, and I'm going to go ahead and turn that volume all the way down so it's only playing from that one. And let's try that one more time. Anissa here, and we've got some great SEO and AI tips for you. And that works pretty cool. So I'm going to take that text that we have there, and I think we need to give it a little bit of animation. Let's do something cool with that. So let's have it come in. And when you guys see something that looks cool to you, let me know, shout it out. You can unmic and let me know which one you think is your favorite. So I'm going to start it again. So here's a bungee where it kind of bounces down and uses a little physics effect. Here's drift. Here's drop. Here
How about
is
having it
grow.
come from in front of you, through your face, in
So here's the problem is that then I would need to, let me see. I think I
maybe
might have to duplicate it.
maybe
So let
contour it
me,
so it first goes through your nose and then through
I'm not doing all that. No, Doug, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna quite that extensive there, but let's see what we can do with this. So maybe on the first run, top one, I'll do an intro in.
How about stacking them like that and then have the one in front fade?
Exactly. So starting in is to drop it in and then have it go out and rise back up. Do you think that could work?
No. But if it's
Well, let's
simply
see. Let's
faded
watch it and see
away,
what happens.
If it simply
Anissa
faded
here,
away,
and we've got some great.
Let's see. Going back to the animation. And instead of that, let's try, let me see. Let's do fade. How about that? Now we need it to we need it to last. And I want to make sure that it is not looping. So let's see how that works.
Anissa here, and we've got great SEO and AI for you.
yeah, that
Not
works.
too bad. Not too bad. Okay. So once that is done, I am ready to click download. And it's going to give us the option to save that as an MP4 file. Let's see. I think I got to wait for it to finish out. Oh, it's taking a minute. Let's see. And I can also, in addition to the MP4 format, I can also download just still images from it as PNG or JPEG, or I can come into a PDF. So that's something that's kind of handy. And with other people. So I'm going to go ahead and download. Hopefully it won't take too long because it's quite a little bit. And then go ahead and open it up and play it back. So I may drop the finished version in the chat for us to watch a little bit later on. And then in the meantime, I'm actually going to go ahead and listen into Brandon's tips for SEO and see what other things I can incorporate into that post. Does that sound pretty cool? Everybody good? All right, so I'm going to save that. And it even lets me say, do I want to use it as an Instagram reel or an Instagram square? And that's, so I appreciate that. So that is Adobe Express and how you use the background removal tool and animate with text. And I thought that was a pretty neat example. And I'm also going to give credit to the source ID, Claudio Zavala, who is one of the Adobe education evangelists. So thanks, Claudio. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stop my share. And I'm going to go ahead and ask Brandon to come on camera and unmic and get ready to roll. There you go. Brandon, are you there? If you can unmute, please.
Right.
There you go. And if you want, you can go into your presenter mode.
Sounds good. It is sharing the screen now.
Can you put it into the presenter and then we won't see all your notes in advance? And then you might want to swap monitor, swap displays. There you go.
Yeah, now you can see it, hopefully.
All set. Okay. So I just want to go ahead and welcome Brandon Leibowitz to our presentation tonight. He is a SEO specialist. Brandon, tell us a little bit about what you do and how you got into it, and then we're going to let you launch right into your presentation.
Yeah, thanks everyone for coming out. My name is Brandon Leibowitz, and I've been involved with digital marketing since 2007, helping people get more traffic to their website using SEO and helping out a little bit with paid ads, but mainly focus on SEO just because it's free traffic and who doesn't want free traffic? And just kind of fell into it after I graduated from college, got my degree in business marketing, and first job I got out of school was helping a company out with their digital marketing, which I didn't really know much about it. They said, don't worry, we don't know much either. We're going to take you to classes, workshops, seminars, kind of similar to this. And after doing that for a few years or a few months, just realized it's the future. Everyone's going to have a website back in 2007 and decided to stick with it. Worked at different advertising agencies as a director of SEO and before work, after work, and on my lunch breaks. Work on my own company, built that up to where I was able to eventually quit my job and focus solely on this, and been doing that ever since and have my own company. It's called SEO Optimizers, where, as the name implies, help people get more traffic using SEO, and again, do a little bit of paid ads too, but rather focus on SEO just because it is free traffic. And so for today, I will be, and definitely if you have any questions, you could always throw in the chat. Want to definitely keep it engaging. So I'll start off with the basics. Start off with what is SEO, talk a little bit about how Google works, because if you know how Google works, you know what they're looking for. Then I'll talk about keyword research, how to find high search volume keywords that have buyer intent behind it. Talk a little bit about backlinks, why backlinks are important, what they are, and why you need them to rank your website. And then I'll touch on how you could spy on your competition, see what your competitors are doing. Talk a little bit about analytics, because if you're not tracking, you're just really going at it in the dark, and you need to track everything. And analytics is free from Google. And then I will touch on AI and how you can incorporate some AI into your SEO strategy. But first, SEO. What is it? It is search engine optimization. And that means optimizing your website for the search engines. But it's not your website, it's the pages on your website, because every page is an opportunity to rank for different keywords. You don't want to just optimize your homepage. You optimize every single page. The more pages you have, the more keywords you could target, which you'll see in a minute why. But each page can only really target about 3 to 5 words. After that, loses relevancy. So the more pages you have, the more keywords you could target, and the more opportunities you'll be able to rank for different keywords. So like I was saying, it's maximizing visitors to your pages on your website. And everything I'm talking about is mainly for Google. Google kind of runs the show, but there's a lot of other search engines out there. I don't know if anybody uses a different search engine. If you want to throw in the chat or let me know, but really Google brings in the majority of the traffic. And when you search on Google, it's not just websites that appear. Images appear, videos appear, your local business maps appear, if your e-commerce products appear. So just trying to capture as much free real estate as possible without spending money on paid ads. And with the videos, Google owns YouTube. So if you want your videos to show in the Google search results, 90% of the time when you search on Google, if you see a video, it's going to be YouTube, because Google doesn't want to promote anybody else. They just want to make money for themselves. And if you search on Google and you don't click on an ad, Google's not making any money. So Google isn't really happy. But if you search on Google and you see a video and you click on it and it's a YouTube video, what's the first thing that appears? Anytime you watch a YouTube video, it's always an advertisement. So then YouTube is making money, which is really Google making money. And I really emphasize to everybody should definitely invest in YouTube and try to build a channel sooner than later, because Google owns YouTube and they're going to promote that much more than Facebook video or Instagram or any other platform, because they're all not direct, but they're all competitors. And this is what Google looks like. Google changes all the time, but there's ads at the top. Those are all paid ads. Right below the ads are the organic listings. There's 10 spots on that first page of Google for the organic. And we're just trying to get you in those 10 spots so you could avoid spending money on those paid ads. At the top, there might be 3 ads, 2, 1, 0. It's all kind of random. Everybody searches for the same keyword. Some of us might get shown ads, some of us might not get shown ads, but there's always going to be 10 spots, 10 organic listings on that first page of Google. So we're just trying to capture that organic free traffic. And the way Google works is, well, any search engine, they have what are called spiders. And these spiders go around crawling the internet, reading the code line by line. So what we see and what you see, or what we see and what Google sees, is different. Google is just looking at the coding for you to put keywords in different places, which they see these keywords. They try to figure out what this page is about. They throw in their algorithm, which is kept top secret. Nobody knows how it works. And if you did know how it works, it changes tomorrow and the next day and the next day. So we're not really trying to figure out how Google works, but really trying to figure out who's on that first page of Google for your keywords, how much SEO have they done, and how can we do a better job of it. That's why we're going to talk about competitive analysis, because we got to figure out who your competitors are and what have they done, and how can we do a better job of it. And essentially, it's just providing answers to questions, but it's a lot easier if I show you. I don't know if anybody has a website. Let me know, throw in the chat, or I could show you what we see versus what Google sees, because it's a lot easier that way. And hopefully you could see my screen. So I see Bradley put bluebrad.com. So if I go to bluebrad.com, this is, oops. So this is what we see, but what Google sees, is this your website? I think it keeps changing. Doesn't really matter. as long as you can see what a website looks like. So this is what we see, which is you can see there's images here, there's text here, there's a lot of stuff going on, keeps changing. So something dynamic. But if you right click and view page source, this is the coding, which is what Google sees. And Google is just reading this, trying to find keywords or trying to find words in whatever language you're targeting. If it's in English, Google's going to be looking through all this coding for words like all sites managed by. So then Google's like, all right, what does this mean? All, we don't really know what that means. Sites. Is this a website? Is this a site that you're seeing, like a monument? What does it mean? Managed. All right, what does managed mean? Managed means someone owns it, or did you create it, or what does it all mean? So they're just trying to get all these words and figure out what this page is about. Like pick one here. They're like, all right, what does this mean? Free site. So they're just going through all this and just trying to decipher what it means. And you can see there's no images, there's no videos, it's all text. The more text you have, the easier it is for search engines to read, understand, and know what that page is about. Every page on your website needs text. If you don't have text, search engines are going to get lost and confused. And I would recommend at least 400 words of text per page, minimum. But the more you put in, the better. If you could put 800 words, 1,000 words, 2,000 words, that's going to just help the search engines better really understand and know what this page is about. And this is for every page on your website, not just the home page. So right now you can see there's some text here, but there's not much text. Well, here's all this text, but I'm not sure if this is hidden from, and it keeps changing. So site's a little strange. I'm not sure how it all works. I don't
No,
build
what it
that.
is that's blocking you because you're on a proxy or a VPN.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, basically we just, and then you can see right here, if I click on this, images, this is what your images become. So you can see images just become a URL. So Google can't read get your website today starting at $500. They just look at the file name of this image. So they see demo Astro Boy, which, all right, demo, what does that mean? Astro Boy, what does that mean? The more descriptive you are, the better off they're going to be at understanding what that is and what that page means. So every page on your website, you have to add more text. I know a lot of people don't want to add text to their website, but if you don't add text, it's going to be really, really tough for the search engines to understand what that page is about. They're getting better at reading images and videos, but they are still really far off. And if you want to make it easy, you got to spoon feed Google. The more information you give to Google, the more they're going to reward you with higher rankings.
Seems to me you throw hidden text in there if you don't want it showing.
No, you definitely don't want to do that because Google's seen all the tricks. Google's been around for 20 plus years, and any trick that you could think of, Google's seen it and is going to penalize you for that. And instead of ranking you higher, they're going to drop you down. So anything that's deceptive or deceitful, I would avoid it because you don't want to get penalized. So just put that content at the very bottom of the page. Think about it. How often do you scroll down to the very bottom of the page? Most people will never scroll down. I mean, most people don't even scroll down when they see the screen. Whatever they see on your screen is called above the fold. 70% of people will never scroll down on your website. Seems crazy, but most people will never scroll or swipe on mobile. So if you don't have all your pertinent information at the top, you're going to lose that traffic. I mean, not having a pertinent information, but making it look nice and pretty for humans at the top, very important. Below the fold, you can put all that text, and most people will never see that. But Google reads from top to bottom. Google will see that text, read it, decipher it, and try to figure out what that page is about. But yeah, don't try to trick Google because Google, if they see you tricking them, they're going to unfortunately drop you down, and we don't want you to drop down. We want you to get more traffic. But keywords research is really important because what text do you want to add to these pages? You have to figure out what keywords people actually search for. A lot of people just come to me and say, I want to rank for this keyword. And then we figure out that 5 people search for this keyword every single month. But if we use a synonym or a plural or some industry slang term, you might get 500 people searching for that keyword. And little changes to singular, plural, synonyms have a huge impact on search volume. So keyword research comes really down to figure out what keywords people actually search for. And there's lots of different ways to do it. I'll just show you one way to do it, which is first make a list of keywords, and then we're going to throw them into different tools, which I'll show you how you can use these tools. But first we need to make a list of keywords. And I would say just write down on on a piece of paper, Microsoft Word, Notepad, Google Doc, whatever you want to write on, but make a list of as many keywords as possible. And I would try to take a step back and think, if you're looking for your product or service, what would you be searching for? Which is pretty tough for most business owners to take a step back, but pretend you've never heard of whatever you're promoting. What do you think you would be searching for? And just write those keywords down. But the best way to do it is let's just search on Google and see what your competitors are using, because Google will show you everything you need to know through Google's instant search, autocomplete, searches related to. And that is going to be a good way to start your keyword research off. And if anyone has a keyword you want me to search for, I can show you how I use Google to spy on our competition, because if they're on that first page of Google, they're doing something right. And if we could look at what keywords they're using, then it's going to show you, or then it's going to show you what keywords you should potentially be using. I'm not sure if anyone has a keyword that you want to rank for. If not,
So I've been working on trying to up ratings for an accounting degree program. And so I just a quick search, and thankfully our program showed up on the first page, and I was really happy about that.
nice. So let's do accounting degree. So if we do accounting degree, just type that into Google. You can see this drop down appears. These are all high search volume keywords that potentially might be good. If it's not a good keyword, then these are really good blog post topics because they get a lot of searches. So you can see accounting degree online. Maybe you don't offer online degrees, but this could be a good blog post topic to say why people shouldn't do online accounting degrees and should actually do in person at your college or university or whatever it is. But these are all really good ideas that you potentially might want to utilize. Also, at the very bottom of Google is this section right here. These are I keep changing the name, but these are searches related to, and you can see there's a lot of overlap. So accounting degree, online, or I mean, Reddit. Reddit's probably not a good keyword, but salary is popping up again. Accounting degree online, accounting degree colleges, requirements. So these are all really good high search volume keywords that potentially might be good. Again, we're not going to use these because we want to double and triple check using these tools to see how many people actually search for these keywords. But right now, we just want to make a list of as many keywords as possible. And then what I want to do is spy on our competitors. Who's on that first page of Google? So this is the first one. If there's ads, skip over the ads. We don't care about the ads. They're not putting keywords like we put for SEO. But this one, they just put the word accounting and then Los Angeles City College. Los Angeles City College, that's the college name. That's not really a keyword, but accounting is the keyword that they're putting in here. And this is a blue clickable link. This is called the SEO title tag. This is where everyone puts they try to squeeze in as many keywords as possible in here, but you only get 60 characters. That's what I was saying earlier. Like each page can only target about 3 to 5 keywords, because how many keywords can you fit in 60 characters? You can't really fit that many. And whatever's in your SEO title tag is the main focus of that page. So we could see this one, types of accounting degrees. Sounds a little bit better. They put the word types. Types is their keyword. Accounting and degrees is their keyword. And then we could see 10 jobs that you can get with an accounting degree. Probably not the best. Which schools offer accounting degrees in Los Angeles? So I'm in Los Angeles. So you can see there's a lot of Los Angeles. And whatever city you're in, you might see, like if you're in Atlanta, Atlanta might be popping up all the time. So you might write down accounting degree in Atlanta as a potential keyword. But then you can see accounting. This one's a lot better. California. I wouldn't put California, but I would say best online accounting degree programs. Those all seem like really good keywords. And it doesn't matter what order you put these keywords in, as long as you have the words in the title tag. That is the main thing. Then you could see the videos, like I was talking about earlier. 90% of the time, these videos are going to be YouTube. Google's not going to want to show other platforms because Google only cares about making money. They don't care about anything else. They just want to make as much money as possible. And then we could keep going down, like Los Angeles, California, accounting degree and program. bachelor's degrees. So now I see they're putting degrees plural. A lot of people are putting the singular version, but now I see the plural version. So now I'd wonder, should I put the plural version in? But again, we're not going to use it until we check using tools. So let's have a big list. So for example, we made a big list of keywords right now. There's a lot of free and paid tools out there that'll let you do keyword research. The free one is called the Google Keyword Planner, and it's from Google and it's free. So I'd probably use that unless you want to pay for a tool. The paid tools are like $100 a month. Like more popular ones would be Moz, M-O-Z, or SEMrush, SEMrush, or Ahrefs, Ahrefs. But the Google Keyword Planner is where all the paid tools get their data from. They just make it look nicer and prettier, but really all the data is coming from the Google Keyword Planner. So if you go to the Google Keyword Planner, sign in, create an account, and then once you get to the Google Keyword Planner, which is what this page is, the Google Keyword Planner is not for SEO. It's really for Google Ads, but it shows you search volume. So I could click on Discover New Keywords at the top left. And in here is I could put accounting degree. And really, you don't need to put a whole list of keywords. The more keywords you put in here, the better. But just for this example, I'll just put 2 keywords, accounting degree and accounting degrees. And sometimes it merges them together. So accounting degree, you can see gets 12,100 searches. And let me just try to put the plural version in and see if it will show me that. I guess it's merging them together. Sometimes it'll merge it together, but most of the time the singular and the plural will be much, much different in search volume. So you want to double check them separately. This time it merged them together, and there's a lot of stuff on this page. Most of this stuff is irrelevant for SEO. Most of this stuff is really for Google Ads. So competition, medium, that's not for SEO. That means for Google Ads. This tells you how much, if you can't rank organically using SEO, and if you want to do Google Ads, it's telling me just to get on page 1, it's going to cost $10.04 for 1 click. If you want to get to the top of page 1, it's going to cost $48.22 for 1 click. That's why SEO is a lot better long-term, because, I mean, these are kind of expensive. Most keywords will be like $5 or $10 per click, which is still pretty expensive, but there's some keywords that are $100 per click just for 1 visitor to your website. That's where you gotta make sure you have a positive return on ad spend. Like, you gotta make sure that your product or service is worth at least 50 times more of what this is, because unfortunately, most people that click onto your website are not going to just instantly buy. So you have to understand that usually it's like 1 to 3% conversion rate that you get with Google Ads. So that's where you got to do the math to make sure that you're going to make more than you're putting in, because if you're just bleeding money out, that's not going to be sustainable in the long run. And then from here, so I just put 1 keyword, accounting degrees. You can see there's 634 other keywords that Google gave me just by putting that 1 keyword in there. Again, I would still do the keyword research, but really you could just put 1 keyword in here and you could go through this whole list of keywords and look at online master's accounting degree. So maybe you might offer a master's degree. That could be a good keyword. Online seems to be pretty popular, especially nowadays with COVID. People don't want to go in person. They could do it online. Best online master's degree in accounting gets 480 searches. So I would try to find stuff that has at least 100 or more searches. Anything under 100, unless it's really, really specific, where if I get 1 person that buys this, I'll make like $5,000. You could go for it. But in general, you want to go for higher search volume keywords. So this is where the keyword research comes into play. Before you start making all the changes to your website, we have to figure out what keywords do you want to rank for. Like Masters of Science in Accounting gets 12,000 searches. That looks really good. Or MACC, looks like it's an abbreviation. So that might also be a really good keyword to incorporate in there. Looks like people are putting 2 years. So people want to know, how long will it take? 2 years, 4 years, 6 years? Do I need 8 years for masters? So going through all this, it's going to give you a bunch of ideas. And then once you have these keywords that you want to rank for, then we want to start putting them into the content like we were talking about earlier, into the coding, which I don't really have time to show you all the places to put in the coding because it gets a little tricky and every platform is different. If you're on WordPress, or Shopify or Wix or Squarespace or custom built website. It's always going to be a little bit different where you put the keywords, but one place that's easy that doesn't require coding is just add it to your website. Just add text to your website. The more text you add, the easier it is for search engines to read that text, understand what that page is about, and rank you higher. So images, videos, not really going to help move the needle like this text will. So once you find these keywords, then you want to sprinkle them throughout the different pages on your website. So this is the Google Keyword Planner. I teach SEO classes. So I thought SEO training or like learn SEO is a good keyword, but learn SEO gets 880 searches. SEO training gets 1600. And it's pretty much the same intent. Learn SEO, they want to learn SEO, SEO training, they want SEO training. It's the same thing. So by me changing one word, I'm going to double my traffic, essentially. That's why keyword research is really important to figure out what keywords are going to get the highest search volume and have buyer intent behind it and are not just going to be saturated with big competitors. So one other thing I forgot is once you find a good keyword, you want to search that keyword in Google. So like bookkeeping degree online, let's say that's a good keyword for me. I want to search it in Google and see who ranks. Is it a bunch of big corporations? And if I'm a small startup or a mom and pop shop, I'm probably gonna say this is not a good keyword because it's just gonna be too saturated. Like if you just see Amazon and Walmart and Target, all these big websites, Wikipedia, and you're just a startup, I would say avoid that keyword. You want to find keywords that have other similar sized businesses ranking for it. I'm not too familiar with bookkeeping degrees online. I mean, I'm in California, so it's gonna be different for everybody, but UCLA, it's a big school. I'd be like, all right, UCLA might be a little tough to rank. Mount San Antonio, not sure what that is. Coursera is a really big website where they offer courses. FreshBooks is like accounting software. So if I saw all this, I might say, all right, this is a little too competitive. Or accounting.com. Someone has the word accounting.com. They probably spent a lot of money on that website, and they're probably spending a lot of money on their SEO for that website. QuickBooks is up there. So this might not be the best keyword because it's just really saturated by big corporate websites. And if you're just a startup, it's probably not going to be ideal. Eventually, over time, you can build yourself up to rank for that keyword, but you have to understand where you are in the business cycle and go after similar sized keywords. Otherwise, you're just going to get lost in the weeds, and we don't want that to happen. Mobile friendliness is something that's really important nowadays. I mean, over half the traffic is going to come from mobile, but what you need to do is make sure your website looks good on all devices, not just on mobile or tablet or desktop, but how does it look on the iPhone 7, iPhone 10, 11, 12, the Galaxy, the Pixel? It's going to look different on every single screen. How does it look when you use Chrome, Firefox, Internet Explorer, Safari, Opera? It's always going to look different. So you need to test and make sure it looks good on all devices because, well, especially mobile. I mean, everyone's website hopefully is mobile friendly nowadays, but if you're not mobile friendly, Google's not going to show you on mobile devices. And if your website doesn't look good on Internet Explorer and someone's searching on Internet Explorer on Google, they're probably not going to show you because they don't want to. Google wants a good user experience. If you search on Google, go to a website and you can't read it, that's a bad user experience. Or you hit that back button and you're gonna be like, Google, why are you showing me this website that I can't read? And Google doesn't want to do that because Google wants you to stay on Google. They don't want you to go to Bing or Yahoo or DuckDuckGo or some other search engine. So test your website. There's, I forget what it's called, but there's like spoofers or extensions. So you don't have to buy 1,000 different phones and browsers. There's tools that will show you how your website looks on every single device. I would definitely check Internet Explorer because I could almost guarantee everyone's website is not going to look good on that browser. But you want to check every browser and make sure it looks good across the board because you never know where a visitor is going to come from. Google Analytics, which we'll talk about later, will show you where your traffic is coming from. And you could see maybe you are getting 80% of your traffic is coming from Internet Explorer, and you find out that your website doesn't look good on Internet Explorer. You just lost out on over 80% of your traffic. And you're not going to really know that without analytics, which again, I'll show you a little bit later how analytics works and why it's important. But you have to be really testing and tracking and trying to break your website because You want to figure out where the issues are and how to fix that. That way you have a good user experience. This is more kind of conversion rate optimization, but this is such a big part of Google nowadays, where Google looks at user experience. In the past, Google just wanted you to optimize your website, put keywords on it, and then you would rank. But now Google's like, wait. We don't want to just rank a website because it has a bunch of keywords, it has a bunch of backlinks. We want to make sure that there's a good user experience. People stay on your website. They don't just go to your website and hit that back button, because you might be ranked #1 on Google, but if the majority of the people that go to your website hit that back button, Google's going to drop you down and say, let's test out who #2 is. Let's move #2 up to #1. And let's see, do people stay on that website, or do they hit that back button? And if they hit that back button again, then they're going to be like, all right, let's go down to #3. Let's put #3 to the top and see if people stay on that website, because Google, again, really wants the best user experience for people that use Google search engine. But one really important thing that a lot of people overlook is the importance of backlinks, because Google doesn't care at all what anybody puts on the website. You could build the best looking website. You can make it load in 0.01 seconds, make sure it looks good on every device, has all the keywords in the correct places, has 1,000 words of content on every single page, but that's not going to rank you. Google does not care at all what you put on the website, because they do not trust anybody. They don't believe that you are who you say you are without you building trust. And the way to build trust with Google is by getting other websites to talk about you. The more websites that talk about you, the more popular Google sees you as. And then they look at those keywords on your website, but it doesn't work the other way around. And what is a backlink? A backlink is a clickable link from another website that points to yours. So let's say, for example, this is the LATimes.com. You're reading through the LATimes.com, and there at the bottom, it says Ivar Seafood Chain. If you click on that and it goes to ivarseafoodchain.com, then they'd be getting a backlink from the LATimes.com. So essentially, the more websites that have clickable links that point to your website, the more popular Google is going to see you as, and the higher they're going to rank you in the search engines. And this is how Google's algorithm first started. And that's why Google became popular. Is all the other search engines back in the 90s, they were just ranking websites based off keywords, which is kind of easy to manipulate keywords. Like you were saying earlier, let's just hide the keywords in font size 0.001 in white text. And that would work really, really well until 2011 and 2013, when Google had these Panda and Penguin algorithm updates, where they said, no. We're going to look for more quality. We don't want you to hide stuff and manipulate us, because we're getting smarter and we see that you're trying to trick us and we don't want you to trick us. So now a big part of backlinks is, well, in the past it was a numbers game. If I have 100 backlinks and you have 200 backlinks, you would rank higher than me. But Google said, hold on, it's not the number of backlinks that really matters. It's the number of quality backlinks. So now when Google looks at a website, they're looking at quality, not quantity of backlinks. And to Google, what is a quality backlink? Quality backlink means it comes from a site that is relevant to you. So let's say, for example, well, we could go back to the accounting. Like if you're an accountant or doing accounting degrees, so you're a school, you probably should get backlinks from other schools, educational institutes, higher ed. It doesn't have to be other accounting schools. It could just, as long as it's somewhat related to you, that's what matters. So like myself, I'm an SEO company. I'm not really going to get any SEO companies to link out to me, because we're direct competitors. So if I get a website related to marketing or advertising, or even traditional like TV advertising, radio advertising, those would be great backlinks. If I got a backlink from, let's say, someone selling tennis shoes, that might look a little off, like to Google. Like, why is a tennis shoe company linking out to an SEO company? Maybe I did their SEO, so it's not bad. But if the majority of my backlinks came from tennis shoe companies, that's going to throw Google off. So it's okay to have some one-offs that are random sites, but the majority of the backlinks need to be related to you. That is so very important. How do you get websites that are related to you to link out to you? The best way is to blog on other people's websites. Blogging on your website is great, but it doesn't do much if you don't have backlinks already built to your website. So if you don't have any backlinks, I'd say take those blogs that you would normally post on your website and give them to other people. Cold emailing websites that relate to what you're doing and essentially pitching yourself, which takes a lot of time. It's very tedious and is not easy to do. Most people are not going to get back to you. I'd say like 99% of the websites that I reach out to never get back to me. But the one that do get back to me, it's a huge win. Like you don't have to be getting hundreds of backlinks every single one. As long as you get a couple backlinks, those are huge wins for SEO. So the way I do it, I just go into Google, search for your keyword, and then you can put the word like blog at the end, and you'll get a list of probably thousands of websites that are all blogs that are related to your niche. And you can start reaching out to them, trying to build relationships with them and letting them know, like, hey, I was wondering if I could be a contributor to your blog or write an article or maybe be a guest on your podcast if they have a podcast. Pretty much you have to offer something for free. If you just ask for a backlink, they're going to say no, or they're going to say, pay me $500. But if you offer them something of value, then they're going to be more receptive to it. So got to think outside the box and think, what can you give to other people that's going to get them to want to say yes to letting you be published on their website? Because you have to think, do you want other people publishing, or you don't want to just link out to random sites unless they offer value? And I see Bradley is asking a question. Would it also be a good idea to use keywords to help build backlinks? And that is also very important. So if we go back to this example, you can see the blue clickable link, which is called the anchor text, says Ivar's seafood chain. So that's the keyword they're targeting with that backlink. So you got to make sure that that anchor text on other people's websites has keywords on it. It's okay if it just has your company name, but you really want to try to get them to put keywords in there because that's going to really help move the needle much more. So, I mean, it gets kind of complicated, but with anchor text, you don't want all of them to be your keywords. So like myself, I'm an SEO company. I want to rank for the word SEO company. In the past, all my backlinks would have the word SEO company. Google said, wait, that's a big red flag. That's you doing SEO. We don't want people doing SEO. We want you to spend money on paid ads. So if all your backlinks have the same anchor text, they're probably going to penalize you. So nowadays, 33% of your backlinks should have your main focus keyword like SEO, SEO company, SEO classes, SEO training, learn SEO. 33% should be your company name. So SEO optimizers, www.SEO optimizers, HTTPS, www.SEO optimizers, HTTPS without the www in it, SEOoptimizers.com. So again, mixing it up, making it look as natural as possible. The other 33% should just be random words like learn more, click here, buy now, just random keywords that don't have your keyword in it, but just are just random words like read more, learn more here, learn more about us, stuff like that. Gets a little complicated, but the more you mix it up, the better, the more natural it looks. You don't want to leave what's called a footprint. You don't want to let Google know that you're doing SEO because Google doesn't want you to do SEO. They want you to spend that money on paid ads because you saw earlier, one click could get Google $40 per click. And you have to think how many people search on Google every single second. They're probably getting thousands of people, hundreds of people searching for that keyword every single second. They want people clicking on that ad because that makes them a ton of money, whereas organic doesn't make them any money. But they have to have that balance because Google knows if the first page of Google is just full of ads, no one's going to use Google. So they have to have that balance of the organic and the paid ads. But Google doesn't really want you to do SEO. They make it really hard. They don't really tell you what's going on. They try to keep things secret and keep you in the dark. So you're just like, all right, I give up. I don't know how to rank anymore on Google organically. Let me just spend the money and pay $48 for each click to my website and hope that I'm making a positive return on ad spend. But blogger outreach is a great way to get you on sites that relate to what you're doing. But a big part also is authoritativeness. How big is this website? If I give you a backlink from my website, it's a good website. It has a good trust built up. It's been around for a long time, but it's not the same as like a Forbes or a Wall Street Journal or LA Times or Huffington Post. So the bigger the website, the more SEO value that's going to be passed on. and the more relevant it is. Those two things are so very important. And the backlinks are very, very tricky because if you build the wrong type of backlinks, it's actually going to do more harm than good. So when you're building backlinks, look for quality over quantity. Don't go on like Fiverr and buy a gig to get 1,000 backlinks for $5 because anything that seems too good to be true is definitely too good to be true. And you got to think again, Google's been around for 20 plus years, has seen all the tricks and knows all these tricks that we would want to do to try to game the system. And if they catch you doing that, they're going to penalize you and drop you down those rankings. And getting out of a penalty from Google is extremely tough. I mean, some people don't even get out of penalties ever. So avoid anything that's manipulative or seems like it's gaming the system or seems like a shortcut for SEO because it might work temporarily and it might get you up there for a couple days, weeks, maybe a month, but in the long run, it's not sustainable and you're gonna drop down once Google catches you or your competitors see that you're doing this. Your competitors are going to tell Google, hey, look at what they're doing. They're doing what's called black hat SEO. And they're going to penalize you. And we want to avoid that like the plague. We don't want you to get penalized. So be very, very, very careful with these backlinks because they're very tricky and it's not that easy. But most websites to really rank, it's not really one size fits all, but most websites probably need around 100 or a couple hundred backlinks. And there's tools that will show you your backlinks. Those are the ones that we talked about earlier, like Ahrefs. Ahrefs is a paid tool that will show you any website's backlinks, or Moz, or SEMrush. You just pick one of these tools. And what we want to do is we want to spy on your competitors and look at all of your competitors' backlinks, because if your competition is on that first page of Google, it's more than likely those backlinks that got them there, along with the keywords, but the backlinks are the main reason why they're there. So we want to figure out who are your competitors first, and then throw them into these different tools to look at their backlinks. But when we're doing competitive analysis, a lot of people come to me and they'll be like, here's a list of my competitors, and I'll search on Google for their keywords and they don't rank anywhere. So you have to understand online and offline competition is very, very different. And we're doing competitor analysis. We want to figure out who are your competitors online. So let's say you're a restaurant in Los Angeles and you're like an Italian restaurant in Los Angeles. And what we want to do is, I mean, you might have thousands of Italian restaurants in Los Angeles, but what we want to do is see who ranks on that first page of Google for your keywords. And let's say Yelp ranks. Yelp is not a restaurant, but Yelp, if they're ranking on that first page of Google, they technically are your competitor online. Offline, different, but online, if Yelp is ranking, then we need to beat Yelp. If if an Italian restaurant is ranking, or let's say like a French restaurant is ranking for your keyword Italian food near me, you technically have to beat that French restaurant out. So what we want to do when we're doing competitive analysis is go into Google, search for your keywords. And just like we did with the keyword research, now instead of looking at keywords, we want to look at websites, who's on that first page of Google, and start making note of who ranks on that first page of Google. But don't just search for one keyword. We want to search for like at least 5 or 10 different keywords and see who shows up consistently. Because if one website ranks for one keyword, that's good. But if they show up for all your keywords, that is definitely your competitor. So we want to make a list of them and show who shows up consistently. And then we're going to throw them into these different tools. And I'll show you right now. I have Ahrefs, but it doesn't matter which tool you have, Ahrefs, Moz, SEMrush, you just pick one, buy it. It's like $100 and something a month, but really, all you need to do is buy it for 1 month, do all your competitive analysis, and then cancel it. Unless you're doing SEO full time like myself, then maybe you want to buy it indefinitely. But really, if you're just a small, medium-sized business, you don't need to be spending money every single month on these tools, because you could export all the data from these tools and then just go back into these tools or back into those exports at your own leisure. But let me show you, because it's a lot easier if I show you this stuff. So if anyone has a website, you want to throw in the chat, I'll show you how we could use Ahrefs. And again, all these tools are pretty similar. So it doesn't matter if you use Ahrefs or Moz or SEMrush. I see Sherman put in here video on repair.com. So if I go to Ahrefs, put your website in here. All right, this is a good example because you have a lot of backlinks. So this tool, there's a lot of stuff in here, just like the other tools. Most of the stuff we're not going to look at because it just gets way too complicated and technical. But what we really want to look at is referring domains. So you can see backlinks right here shows 996 backlinks, which is a lot of backlinks. But backlinks could be artificially inflated. And we don't really care about the number of backlinks, but we care about the number of unique websites linking out to you. So we want to look at referring domains because let's say my website has 1,000 pages on it. If I link out to you from every single page on my website, you're getting 1,000 backlinks, but it's really from one website. And I've seen websites that have millions of pages and they'll link out to my competitors 10 million times. I'm like, I can never build 10 million backlinks, but it's only coming from one website. So we want to look at referring domains. And referring domains, you have 380 backlinks or 380 referring domains, which is a lot of websites. So 380 is a lot to go through, but we want to prioritize them and go for the higher authoritative sites. So these tools will say, each tool is different, but this one has DR, and this is their ranking system saying the higher the DR, the more popular or the more SEO value you're going to get from these backlinks. So we want to go after the bigger websites first, and then eventually we could go down to page 7 or 8 and go for these smaller ones. But initially, we want to go for the bigger ones. So if we go here, we can see after ship is a DR90. That is a really, really high. The highest you can get is 100. And anything over, I would say 30 is a really big website. So let's say aftership.com, you're getting a backlink from this. I want to figure out how did you get this backlink. So I'm going to go to aftership.com. And in here, you can see here's your website, videos on repair. And somewhere in here is a clickable link that I could click on it and go right here. So here is your website. So if I saw this, I want to figure out how can I get on this website after ship? What is after ship? How do I get on it? And it looks like it just might be an online directory where all you have to do is sign up, create an account, and you could add your website here. I'm not sure, so I'd click on stores maybe. And it looks like, yep, this is just a list of websites. And it says right here, submit my store. So I would just go here, submit my store, put your name, first name, last name, email. But the only thing I really care about is URL. I want to get that backlink. Short description, all this other stuff is good. It's helpful, but really for SEO, we just want to get that clickable link. Once we got it, close it, go on to the next one. Yellow Pages is another directory. So, I mean, I'll skip that one, but let's go to something that looks a little different. Maybe I'm not too sure what all these sites are, but let's try this JC search. No, it's another directory. Looks like a lot of these backlinks are just coming from directories. Let's see, let's try this one, lucynitpickers.com. Website is coming soon, so can't really use this website if it doesn't exist. So again, not all these are gonna be good. A lot of these might be old, broken. So let's try Blue Dream Weed Online, which might not be the best because you don't really, well, and it says there's a critical error on this website. So just because the website has 380 backlinks, most of them are going to be old, irrelevant. You can see these are coming from like the Netherlands, .ch is like the Czech Republic, FR is France. So a lot of these are coming from like foreign countries. And if you're trying to rank in the United States, you want .com. You don't want all these foreign websites. So you don't go after all your competitors' backlinks. You go after the ones that seem relevant, seem authoritative. Let's try one last one just to see. American Internet Matrix. See if this website works. And these look really spammy. They don't look like really good websites to be on because it's just a bunch of just random stuff in here. So again, when you're building backlinks, if you're a video website, you want websites related to videography, about cameras, about video, about recording, about lighting, about sound, stuff that's related to what you're doing. That is such a big part. So just because your competitors have a lot of backlinks doesn't mean they're all good backlinks. Again, like I said earlier, it's about quality, not quantity. So they can have a lot of backlinks, but most of them could be just low quality backlinks that are probably doing more harm than good. So pick and choose the backlinks that you go after, but Ahrefs, Moz, or SEMrush, it's going to show you all of your competitors' backlinks and give you insights to really how they're ranking or why maybe they're not ranking because they have a ton of backlinks coming from spammy sites that are dropping them down instead of ranking them higher. Because 380 backlinks, you should be ranking for a ton of keywords. And then tracking, so very important. You have to track everything. Google Analytics is free. There's lots of other tools out there, but Google Analytics is a free tool from Google, and it'll show you everything you want to know about your traffic, where your traffic's coming from, what pages they visit, how long they stay on each page. So like if you're an e-commerce website, you can see which products get the most traffic. If you're a blog, you can see which blog posts get the most traffic, which is great. But then you can see how many people stay on that page. So if you're a blogger and using Google Analytics, we see that 80% of your traffic comes to one page, but 90% of the people that go to that page hit that back button. We got to figure out what is wrong with that page. Does it load slowly? Does it not look good on mobile? Maybe the content isn't good. There can be a million reasons why people hit that back button, but at least now you have some insight to like, hey, I'm getting a ton of traffic. Why am I not getting sales? Because everyone that goes to that page is leaving. Now I got to figure out what's wrong with that page. How do I fix it? And it's kind of like becoming a detective and reverse engineering your website. And you have to kind of think outside the box. Why is it not converting? Why am I getting all these people, but they're leaving? And there's no real answer to that. You have to just play around and test and dig into it. But at least Google Analytics will give you the insight that this page, there's something wrong with it. And if you don't have analytics, you're not going to know that. And Google Analytics is free. And you need to install a tracking code on your website. So you go to Google Analytics or analytics.google.com, sign up, create an account. They're going to give you a little tracking code. Put that tracking code on your website. Once you put that tracking code on your website, it'll start tracking, but it's not going to track before that. So I recommend to anyone, if you don't have Google Analytics installed, install it today, because if you wait for next month, you're not going to get this past month's data, and data is invaluable. Even if you're getting one or two people to your website, that's still data that could utilize to make statistically informed decisions. Otherwise, you really don't know what's working and what's not working. And Shopify will give you analytics. WordPress will give you analytics, but it's not the same as Google Analytics. Google Analytics is a little overwhelming. It's like data overload. They give you way too much information, but more is better than less. And I would highly, highly recommend installing it as soon as possible. And there's lots of different ways to install Google Analytics. When you sign up for Google Analytics, they'll say either install the tracking code, or you could use Google Tag Manager, like Anissa said, or there's a lot of different ways. But if you don't know how to install Google Analytics, you can just type into Google how to install Google Analytics on, and then fill in the blank. If you're on Shopify, how to install Google Analytics on Shopify. If you're on Wix, how to install Google Analytics on Wix. And it shouldn't take more than an hour. And once it's done, it's done. You never have to install that again. And then you can just look at that data, which is a tougher part, is trying to decipher through all that data. What country, what city, what state, what language, what browser, tells you so much information. This is what Google Analytics used to look like. They just recently switched over to GA4. So if you did have Google Analytics installed and you didn't switch over to the new one that they required last year, you're not going to be tracking anymore. So you have to make sure you're using the new GA4. It's a little bit different. Unfortunately, they took away a lot of the data because that's Google. They don't want to help you out. They want to make things tough, unfortunately, for you. But still, at least you're able to get some insights and it will really help you out. See, Bradley saying also Stat Counter and Open Web Analytics. I haven't used those, but I'm not sure how in depth they're going to get. Like you could see here, you can click on so many different things. And I always tell people, click on everything. You're not going to break analytics. You're just going to learn a ton of information that you would not have otherwise known. And then a little bit about AI, since I've talked a lot about SEO already, but AI or ChatGPT can help automate some of this stuff. And there's two different AIs I want to talk about. First, we'll talk about ChatGPT, which is a natural language processing tool. And the biggest thing about ChatGPT is who created ChatGPT. OpenAI created ChatGPT. Who is OpenAI? Microsoft, which is Bing. So Bing owns ChatGPT. And if we're doing SEO, I don't care about Bing. So Google has their own AI, which we'll talk about in a second. But ChatGPT was launched November 30th, 2022, and it's free to use. There's a paid version. I'd recommend the paid version. It's much more powerful. I think it's like $10 or $20 a month. It's really cheap. But the free one's still good, and you can use a free one, but the paid one is significantly better. And you just go to chat.openai.com, sign up, create an account. But if we're doing SEO, I don't care about Bing. Google created their natural language processing tool, and it is called Bard, B-A-R-D, and it was launched like 3 or 4 months after Bing or ChatGPT, because Google's like, wait, Bing just put AI in their search results. We don't want everyone to go into Bing just to use AI. So we're going to launch our AI, which Google's been working on AI since 2013. They've been working on it for a long time, but they're just like, wait, if Bing released theirs, we have to release ours right now. Even if it's not accurate, which the biggest thing about AI is it is not accurate. It's okay, but it is not accurate. And you have to be careful with it, which I'll show you in a few minutes. But Bard is free. There's no paid version yet. There probably will be in the future because, as you can see, there's an overlapping theme here. Google only cares about money. That's all they care about. So right now it's free because the more people that use it, the more data they're going to get. But eventually, they're going to probably start charging. And AI can do a lot of things. One thing that probably everyone has been talking about right now is content creation. Like I've been talking about this whole time, content is very, very important. And AI could create content for you. It could create outlines. It could give you topic ideas for like blog posts. It could check existing content for any issues or spelling or grammar issues. It could write prompt descriptions. It could write service-based descriptions. So if you're a plumber, it could write content for your plumbing website. If you're selling car parts, it could write product descriptions for those car parts. It's really, really powerful. But let me show you how it looks. And ChatGPT and Bard look pretty much the same. I mean, it looks really just like a Google search. So this is ChatGPT, and this is Bard. And pretty much it's just like a search, enter a prompt here, enter. And right now I'm using the ChatGPT 4, which is the paid version, but let me go to the free version just so you can see you don't need to spend money on the paid version. But let's say I want to write some blog posts. Instead of just saying, a lot of people just say, write me a blog post about this topic, which is not a good strategy at all because it's just going to spit some random stuff out. So what you want to do is first say give me blog topic ideas about, and then you put your keyword in there. So if we're doing the accounting degree, you could put accounting degree, if I could spell it right. So give me blog topic ideas about accounting degree. And now you can see here's a bunch of potentially good blog post topics. Go through all these and find out which one that you want to write a blog post about. So don't just do all of them, but like read through, see what ones make sense. And once you find a good one, then you can actually go, let's say we like this one, navigating the CPA exam, tips for success. This is a good blog post topic. Now we can say, write me an outline for, and then you could put that topic in there. So write me an outline for this topic. So now it's going to write me an outline. And then I'm going to go in and edit this outline and say, all right, maybe I don't want to talk about test day trips. Let's take this out. Or maybe post-exam steps. You forgot a step. Let me add a step. So we're going to tweak it because, again, most of this stuff is not accurate. And if you just copy verbatim and put out incorrect information, Google is also going to penalize you. And earlier this year, well, not this year, last year in 2023, Google said, we don't care who writes content anymore. In the past, Google said, if it's written by AI, we don't want AI written content. But now it's pretty much impossible to decipher if it's written by AI or humans. I mean, ChatGPT had a tool that would show you if it's written by AI, but it would tell you that the Bible is written by AI. It'll tell you that, so it's not accurate. There's no way to decipher nowadays, which is insane. So Google says, we don't care who writes it as long as it provides value and is accurate. So if you just copy and paste, you're probably going to put incorrect information out there. So go through, read, double, triple check all this stuff. And then once you have all this stuff, some people will say, write this article for me, which I would say probably isn't the best, but you could say, write this article for me, and it will write the whole thing out for you. Well, now it's saying it's not going to fit within the limitations of this platform because I'm using the free version. But if I switch over to the paid version, the ChatGPT 4, and I ask it to do it, it will 100% do it. But this is Bing. Really, Bard is from Google. And if we're creating content, I'd rather have Google write the content for me because they're going to be looking at the keywords that Google wants to rank for. Let's just do the same thing over. It's like, give me some blog topics related to, now we can say like selling cars online. And the nice thing about Bard is it's also going to give you a ton of other information about why these topics are good, how to find other topics. So look, you can see, instead of just giving me a list of topics, now it's saying for sellers. So if I'm trying to write something for sellers, here's a bunch of topics. If I'm trying to write something for buyers, here's a bunch of topics. And here's bonus topics. And then it even tells you, like, remember to tell your chosen content topics to your target audience and niche, and inject your own personality and expertise to make your blog stand out. Google's telling you this. Google doesn't really tell you much about SEO, but now they're actually telling you what they're looking for. They're saying, make sure it makes sense, it's targeting your audience, put your own personality in there. Most people don't do that. So now Google's telling you, make sure you personalize this. So once I find a good topic, then I'll say, all right, getting global. Like, let's say this is a good topic, like going global. Can you sell your car online internationally? I'd say, write me an outline about this topic. And it's going to write the outline, but it's going to be tailored to what Google's looking for. And you can even see it's a little bit more detailed: introduction, hook, thesis, introduce potential benefits and challenges. And then it even tells you again, remember to tailor content to your target audience, provide informative and actionable advice. So now it's saying we need actionable and informative advice. Didn't say that earlier, but now it's saying that. And then we could even take it one step further and say, write this content for me. And it'll write the whole blog post for you. But again, you have to read through this, make sure it's accurate. Don't just copy it, because unfortunately, it's not all going to be accurate. And even down here, it's telling you what they're looking for, highlight the potential and challenges of this exciting frontier in car sales. Now go forth and conquer the globe, one online listing at a time. So Google's giving you a little bit more insights. So when you're doing, ChatGPT is really powerful and it is a great AI tool, but I'm talking about SEO. And if I'm doing SEO, I'd rather use Google's Bard for anything related to SEO. You could have it spell check your content. So if you have a write content, or even in all your old blog posts, you could say, hey, go through all my old blog posts and let me know if there's any spelling or grammatical issues. And I'll read through all that stuff. And it's just really, really powerful. And it's going to save you a lot of time, but it's a tool. And any tool is just a tool, depending on how you use it. And if you use it incorrectly, it'll do more harm than good. So be careful with this. But AI is very, very powerful. And this is just scratching the surface on stuff it could do. It could do so many more things, and it is very, very powerful. And I have a whole class I did earlier this year or last year. I threw it up on YouTube. So if you just search my name on YouTube, you can see that AI class. I show you how you can do keyword research, how you could have it write your title tags and schema and meta descriptions and all these other things. It is very, very powerful. But today, there's a lot I wanted to go through so you can see. But some ethical considerations is really use it as a reference. Don't just copy it. And it is a little biased, so just be aware. It's not going to give you the real truth. It's just going to give you what it wants to give you. Unfortunately, all Google, social media, they're all pretty biased, unfortunately. So stick everything with a grain of salt, but misuse and abuse is a big thing where people just will say, write me 100 articles about accounting degrees. That's not the same as what we did. Take time to find good topics, write good outlines, edit them, edit the content, and make sure it is accurate. Job displacement is a big thing that's going to happen because writers are probably obsolete in the next couple of years. You don't need writers, you need editors to make sure it's accurate and it reads properly. But sadly, writers, copywriters, they're probably going to be gone. And the new thing that's going to take over is writing prompts. Who can write good prompts? And really just provide value or focus on providing good value, accurate content. And that's really the biggest thing with AI. And for everyone that stuck around and made it to the end, I created a free gift for everybody. If you go to my website, SEOoptimizers.com, that's SEOoptimizers.com/gift. You can find that there along with my contact information and other classes I've done about SEO. I've thrown up for free. So you can see step by step how to do a lot of the other stuff that we talked about. And also, if you want to book some time on my calendar, I'm happy to check out your website from an SEO point of view for free. And you can book some time on my calendar there as well. I think I missed a bunch of questions. So if I did miss any questions, if you want to throw in the chat, I'll go back through the chat. But I see prompt engineering will become an required skill for most jobs over the next 10 to 15 years. I'd probably say probably over the next like 2 or 3 years because AI is just growing exponentially. Doug was saying maybe AI can help with that prompt engineering, and that is probably true. You could say, write me a good prompt to write blog post topics. And the prompts I showed you are horrible prompts. I would not use the prompts I put in there. I would be as detailed as possible. The prompts I use for creating blog posts, just to create topics, is about 3 pages of text in there telling Google what to look for, how I want it written, make sure it has the keywords in the right places, making sure it does NPL, natural language processing, making sure it has all these really detailed things. So the more detailed you are, the better the results are. If you just put what I put in there, it's not bad, but you could get much deeper into it and write really good prompts, or ask ChatGPT to write you a good prompt, or Bard. Ask Bard to write you a good prompt and see what it says. Like, Bard, write me a good prompt for creating blog post topics. Create me a good prompt for writing outlines and so on, and see what it does and play around with it. The more you play around with it and test, the better the results are going to be and the better your rankings are going to be with SEO. But that is all I think I'm not sure if I missed any of those questions. If I did miss any questions, you can always email me too in the future. I'll put my email in the chat if you want. It's Brandon at SEO Optimizers.
Did anybody have any final questions for Brandon? Okay, and yes, his email is in the chat there.
I would like to know why my website didn't load on your computer.
Yeah, I'm not using a VPN either, so I have no idea. I'm in Los
I looked at
Angeles.
it and I saw that you touched it, but it kicked you. Because I have a bot, anti-bot. So in other words, if you have a plugin or something in your browser that tries to dig into the website and breaks the robot.txt rule, I have a blacklisting plugin, but the weird thing is it gave you, this is a test server. Because I went back and looking, I was like, wait, that shouldn't be. You should be able to see the website then, because it would tell you that you have been banned.
Yeah, so I mean, you have to also think maybe people have extensions. Like I do SEO, so I might have extensions that read your robots.txt. It's not going to edit it, but if that happened to me and other people are going to your website that might have that, unfortunately, it might unintentionally block a lot of people from your website.
Could you try it again one more time? Because I think I may have figured it out.
Let me see.
I got server test page.
Yeah, it says this is a server test. Now it's, well, if I click on that, but yeah, now it's staying
Yeah,
fine.
it will take you away
Oh,
to the
no,
demo
it did.
websites. That's loading, which is weird because
Yeah,
it's
did
not
it
blocking
again.
you, obviously.
But I do have these extensions, like this extension. I have a bunch of extensions, but
Yeah, I don't
nothing.
think it's the extensions. I have a feeling it's the host is not pointing me to my website.
Mm,
It might be a DNS issue.
yeah, I'm not sure because that was weird and it keeps changing. And
Well,
Yeah,
the reason why it keeps
same on
changing is
mine.
because that test page redirects you after 5 seconds.
Yeah, that is strange. So yeah, this is another thing like I was talking about earlier, like test your website on all the browsers, on all the platforms.
It's not the browser. I have a feeling it's the DNS. There
DNS.
must be a issue with the DNS. You're landed on my website portfolio. So at the very top, pick one here. It lets you rotate through all my websites that I built. Oh, then you click one that's a menu.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of this just whooshed over my head like a 737, but
Mhm.
The most important thing.
Interesting to observe where things are these days.
No, the most important thing, if you don't do anything that I talked about, but one thing would just be add more text to your website. That's one thing that is really, and create more pages. The more pages, the more keywords you can target and just add text. And I can almost guarantee doing that alone will move you up. And then backlinks. Backlinks are a little trickier, a little more complicated, but just adding more text to your website feeds Google. Google feeds off text. Ever since I've been doing SEO, I've always heard content is king. Back in 2007, still to this day, content is king, meaning text. Images, videos, Google struggles with it. They're getting much, much, much better at reading that stuff, but they're still not there yet. Like they could read text.
Mhm. Now, I didn't hear anything mentioned about accessibility. Do you have any viewpoints about how you approach making sure that your client sites are accessible as well as SEO compliant?
Yeah, I don't build websites, so that would be more the web developer. But
Okay.
accessibility just means that, well, I mean, it's so complicated with accessibility, like adding alt tags to your images. But then accessibility comes down to like the colors, like this blue. Well,
Right.
you're not looking right now on my screen, but like the blue on the BB on your logo, the light blue and the dark blue might be too close together, and that could cause issues. It gets so complicated with
Exactly.
accessibility, but Google wants to make sure that internet is accessible to everybody. If you're visually
Exactly.
impaired, you can't hear, they want to make sure that you can still use internet. So that's something that Google really, really pushes accessibility, and they've been pushing it a lot more the past couple of years. But one thing with images is if you're visually or like if you're visually impaired, there's screen readers that will read the text, but when they get to images, there's like, I don't know what this image is. So they look at what's called alt
Right.
text.
Alternate text.
I have a
So,
question for you.
Mhm.
What about like when you do like YouTube videos, how you have in the description of your video, have you like a link to that particular page on your website? Is that something that helps as far as like backlinks, or is that more of like a I don't know, give you a little bit more stout? And
it's because pretty much everything on the internet, blogs, article, social media, like let's say, well, mainly like social media. I don't want people staying on my Facebook page. I want them to go from Facebook to my website. YouTube, I don't want people staying on YouTube because after they watch my YouTube video, there's going to be another random video that appears. There's going to be advertisements. There's too much noise on there. I want you to go to my website. So everything on all these external third-party sites are just really another way to get people to your website. That's really why I put that there, because I don't want you to watch my YouTube video. I want you to go to my website, book a time on my calendar. The video is just there to show you and teach you, but really, I'd rather have you just go directly to my website. So everything on the internet, on third-party sites, you should really try to lead people into your website, because that's where you get full control. Like Facebook, if I might have a huge audience on Facebook, but you go to my Facebook page, there's ads on that Facebook page, there's friend requests, there's messages. It's too easy to get distracted and lost. and then forget about me. So that's why I put that there at the very top, because I don't want you to have to read the description, click that down button and read more, because most people don't even know that you can read more on the video description. So always put that, especially for e-commerce. I have a lot of clients that sell products online. I'm like, put the product URL right there, because someone watching this video, hopefully they want to buy your product. And the easier it is for them to buy that product, the more likely they will. If they don't know how to get to your website, or they have to go to your website and then search through your website to find that product, you're going to lose probably over half those people, unfortunately. Even though it's obvious to us where the page is on our website, to someone that's never been to your website, it's going to be a little bit tougher for them.
Right. Okay. Yeah, it was just more of like, does that link help?
And yeah,
backlink.
I forgot. Yeah, and
the links do help.
Yeah, that
It's
one
analogous to something I have to remind my clients all the time, that they're saying everything, looks great and all that, and I have to remind them that they know everything about their product. The guy they're trying to sell it to doesn't. So you're informing them about everything. You need the information easy to digest. You need to tell them what they need to know. You need to make it easy to, have the answers there. Don't bury stuff in other places. Do some consolidating and do some pulling apart, and process it in a way that that complete novice can make sense of it.
keep it simple.
Yeah, keep it simple, stupid. Yeah.
Pretty much. At the top of your website, below, once you start scrolling, that's where you can put all the stuff for SEO. But at the top, keep it simple, basic, bullet points, a value proposition, maybe a video, because people don't want to read. People's attention spans are way too short nowadays. So less is better usually at the top, but then lower down. So it's like that balance. We want to keep it simple, but also have some extra stuff in there for Google, but push that down. Keep it for human people at the top, Google at the bottom.
Right. Any other questions? Sherman, that was a really good question on that last one. Any others? Okay. Well, I want to take the time to thank Brandon once again. Very thorough, very complete, loved all the details, all of the, I took notes. Even though I do this on a daily, I still took notes because there were some great little itty bitty little things I'm about to go try out on my own content. I love it. So, and once again, we want to make sure that everybody knows how to get in touch with Brandon. So he is available at SEOoptimizers.com, and you can email him at brandon@SEOoptimizers.com. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Or
And, oh, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, Brandon at SEOoptimizers.com. It's perfect.
Okay, great. Thank you again for doing such a great presentation. I'm going to bring Daniel up and give him the floor so that we can go into our closing.
Great, thanks.
You got your raffle goodies ready to go?
Great job. Yeah.
Thanks for having me on. Glad to share some of that knowledge with everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, Daniel, it's all yours.
Right, so we have different prizes today than the usual, and it's a smaller raffle. So there's one prize that's a Photoshop Cafe title from Colin Smith, and then the other prize is a workshop with Stephen Burns. So the first winner will pick their prize, and then the second will get the other one.
Okay. And you can share screen if you need to. And I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.